Okay folks, as some of you will already be aware, version 1.3.0 of the DJI Fly App is now available. So what I've done is downloaded it on my Android and my iOS device. I'm going to be doing videos on both, but we're just going to get the iPhone out today, get the DJI Mini 2 back up into the air and just run a few tests to see how the overall stability of the app is performing now that it has been updated. I know a few of you have been having issues. I have been as well with some of the older versions, so hopefully some of those have been fixed. So I'm not going to be going for cinematic footage today. I'm doing some videos, but obviously that's not really the purpose of what we're going for. What I am going to be doing is just testing out some stuff with version 1.3.0, in particular the compass and the quick transfer, to make sure that they are working as intended, and in particular with the quick transfer, that it's been fixed for me because it wasn't working before. As always folks, if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel for more DJI and Mini 2 content. But without any further ado, let's go ahead now and get the drone into the air. So I'm going to start just by getting a little bit of distance, and I want to see how that compass is performing. If you don't know, I've had some major issues with the compass on the DJI Mini 2 with the DJI Fly App, mostly with the pilot arrow not lining up with the drone itself. Sometimes it has been way off. Did a whole load of calibration, even did a video about it previously, and that seemed to fix the issue with version 1.2.4, but you know, it can come back from time to time. So hopefully now that I've updated to version 1.3.0, that issue is no longer with us, and right away I can see that the arrow is pointing directly at the drone as it should be. So that's an encouraging start. I'm very happy about that, because calibrating that compass can be a right pain in the enter your own word there. Right, so let's go ahead and gain a little bit of height. Like I said, not going for the cinematic video today. This is purely a test of the new app update. As I've mentioned before, the app update, or rather the DJI Fly App itself, is not the same thing as the firmware that's installed on the drone. As such, the actual flight stability shouldn't be affected. However, the flight stability can be indirectly affected by the fact that if your app is crashing, obviously you're not going to be able to fly the drone as you otherwise should be able to do. So hopefully we'll have a nice stable app now. Also, one thing to note, version 1.3.0, the major feature of this particular update is the fact that the FPV drone, which technically still isn't announced, but I'm guessing it will be at some point today, is supported by the app. I've not used FPV drones before. If you have, please do share your experience of them down below. So let's gain a height to about, I don't know, 30-35 meters. Don't need to go too high at the moment, as long as we're above the trees. And we're going to gain a little bit of distance. I don't have my strobe light on today, so I'm not going to be going past 500 meters, since that is generally the accepted VLOS range, you know, for the drones that we're flying. And I can still see that quite easily anyhow. So all I'm doing is just checking out the app stability. Now, I'm pretty stupid. I didn't charge the battery before I came out, so we're already starting on about 50%, which isn't good. But I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of pictures here, and then we'll test out the quick transfer a little bit later on. Now, it's a little bit foggy, unfortunately. Also a little bit windy. Just going to gain a little bit more height. And I can see the city still despite the fog. So I'm just going to grab, again, a non-cinematic looking picture. Just make sure that we have got photos selected. Yes. And let's just grab one of the city there in the background. I can just see the spires of the cathedral. Okay, and if I turn around and take another one. And then what we'll do a little bit later is just pop back and maybe take a quick shot. Okay, we'll take a shot around here. Yeah, we'll take a quick shot and then we'll see if the quick transfer feature is actually working for me. Before, when I've tried to use that on the previous app updates, it would, I think, connect to the Wi-Fi between drone and phone, but it wouldn't actually send any images. The app would just close and take me back to the phone's home screen. So I'm just going to go for a little fly here. Nothing too major. And so far, you know, the app is performing fine. We've got full signal, which is always a good thing, of course, but that isn't really going to be affected by the app itself. Version 1.3.0 isn't really going to improve the signal. that is down to the hardware of the drone, the controller, and the various firmwares installed on each of those devices. But, you know, preliminary tests here are definitely encouraging. I'm going to bring the drone back to me, and then we're going to just have a fly around my field so I can make sure that that compass is definitely calibrated correctly. But so far, you know, with version 1.3.0, this is my first flight with that update. So far, so good. Okay, so there I am, just about to bring the drone back down. And yes, I know there's power lines, don't worry, I am nowhere near them. Right, okay, so as I mentioned, I'm just going to have a quick fly around the field here, and then we can test out that compass. But I do just need to get a little bit of range on the drone. If I fly backwards, just to separate the icons on the compass interface. And looking at the telemetry now, just wait for the drone to hover, there we go. With me pointed directly at the drone, I can definitely see that, yes, that's very encouraging. The compass is lining up as it ought to be. And if I move to the left and then to the right, then it is updating on the compass interface exactly as one would expect. So, to be honest with you, I think the compass issues I've been having with previous updates, I think I've finally got those remedied now. I think they are all fixed, which is a good thing because it was driving me crazy before. It really was. Even though, you know, I didn't necessarily need to rely on the pilot arrow, I just wanted it to be lined up. I really did, and finally it is. Okay, so let's just have a quick fly around here. I'm just going to stay low to the ground and maybe stick it in sports mode. There we go. Yeah, I do like the fact that you can have some fun with this drone, can't you? Try not to hit trees and things. Yeah, one thing is with flying in sports mode, especially when you're flying low, you have to be extremely on top of the whole obstacle avoidance. Because this drone does not have any built in, as you guys know. So it is down to the pilot. The only obstacle avoidance built into this drone is the bottom sensor, which it uses for landing. But in terms of side, front, back or top, there is nothing at all. So you do have to be, you know, be careful about that. But yeah, I've got to be honest with you, I'm impressed. Maybe now we can just set up a Quickshot and then test that quick transfer feature. So I'm just going to line the drone up, and then I think we'll do the drone eat Quickshot here. There we go. Now, if you haven't used the Quickshot feature on the DJI Mini 2, it's a nifty little feature that you can play about with. Just bear in mind that there's very little collision detection on the Mini 2, so make sure the surroundings are clear and have a good idea of the actual path the drone's going to be taking on the Quickshot. And away it goes. So the good thing with Quickshots is that it will not only take the drone to the required distance, but it will also bring the drone back again afterwards. So there's very little work involved. Okay, there we have it. Okay, it is kind of bright out here, but hopefully you guys can see this. So if you haven't used the quick transfer feature before on the DJI Mini 2, it is in theory quite a nifty little feature. I've not been able to get it to work up until now, so hopefully, I haven't tested it yet. Today will be the day with version 1.3.0. So make sure, I don't know if you guys can see that, you have the DJI Fly App open on your phone. It doesn't need to be connected to the remote controller for this feature. In fact, my remote controller is completely turned off. And what you want to do is start by turning the DJI Mini 2 on, as you normally would. And then you're going to get the, hopefully you guys can see that, the flashing LED at the bottom here. What we're going to do while it's turned on is just hold that down for a few seconds until it starts flashing blue. Can you guys see that? Hopefully you can. It'll make some funny noises as well. And then on the app, it should automatically, this is what it did for me before, bring up this little interface here with your DJI Mini 2. And all we need to do now is select Connect. And then DJI Fly wants to join Wi-Fi network. Select Join on that. And then it's just a case of being patient. They're actually connecting to the Wi-Fi network that the device has created ad hoc. So you can do this out in, you know, the open when you're traveling. You haven't actually got to connect to an actual Wi-Fi network. Okay, and once that's happened, we can select View Album. And there you can see the pictures and the photo that we've just gone ahead and taken and recorded. So all we need to do now is select the ones that we want to transfer. Now, I will say that the Wi-Fi isn't the fastest, okay? So if you have some lengthy videos, especially, you know, big 4K video files, then expect this to take a little bit of time, unfortunately. I'm just going to select the little tick in the square box at the top right hand corner here, and we'll select all 3 files, a total of 87.16 megabytes. Let's go ahead and download. So yeah, you can see we're getting a rate of about 5 megabytes. And I'm just going to show you how quick this is. So you can see how 87 megabytes is going to take, how long it's going to take. And of course, if you have a 4K video file, then that could be many, many gigabytes or thousands of megabytes. But there we have it then. So that is the quick transfer function. These have now been downloaded through the Wi-Fi ad hoc network we created with the quick transfer function on the drone directly to our phone. So if we just go ahead, we should be able to open these up. And yep, opening my Photos app shows me that they are, in fact, there and present. Okay, so there's the photo that we took, one of the photos. Now, as far as I know, this will only transfer JPEGs. It will not transfer the raw photos that will still be stored on the memory card. Of course, that doesn't apply to videos, because videos are only recorded in MP4 format on the DJI Mini 2. You don't, sadly, get the you know, the raw video format. Yeah, didn't take too long, and clearly it's working now, the quick transfer function, which makes me very, very happy, because that means the version 1.3.0 app has fixed that particular issue for me. But I get the drone turned off now. So initial impressions of version 1.3.0 are very positive. I had no actual issues with the app itself. It wasn't crashing, it wasn't lagging for me. And don't forget, I'm still using an iPhone 12, which is the latest generation of iPhone and is not on the compatibility list yet for the DJI Mini 2 recommended devices. I was hoping with the new update that they would update that compatibility list, but so far they haven't. The same is true for the latest generation of Android devices. The Samsung Galaxy S21 series is also not on the compatibility list, but hopefully that's working as well now, because I know a few people were having issues with it. Yeah, like I say, first impressions are very positive. The app's working as I would expect. That particular quick transfer feature has now been fixed for me, so that's encouraging, and the compass is still working absolutely brilliantly as well. But I do hope the video's helped you guys. Share your own thoughts on version 1.3.0 down in the comments. And also, one thing I would be interested in hearing, are you going to be checking out the DJI FPV drone that is, I'm guessing, going to be announced today in line with the app release? And if you're going to get that, then please do let us know, because I'd be very interested in hearing your thoughts about that drone. But anyway, folks, have a wonderful day. And until next time, happy flying. Take care, everyone.